Hello, I'm Ashley, the engineer at Andover Norton, and the bike we got here today is the Mark III Commando. This one itself was produced in July 1975. Nearly all the bikes were manufactured in 1975, however there were about 25 test bikes that were manufactured and have numbers preceding the actual official number release that we got records of here in the office. It's also worth noting that the records indicate that the first 5 months of production were all shipped to North America, all bar one bike that went to a Norton employee. The range was short-lived because at the time Andover Norton were effectively, not so much Andover Norton, it was at the time it was Andover Motorcycles. It actually fell under the ownership of Norton Villiers Limited, and they were in receivership at the time and subsequently sort of ceased in being. So the bikes were actually sold off from parts they had available to make bikes up towards the end of the year. The Mark III itself was a big change over the previous bikes, most notably because it had the electric start and it also had a left-hand gear change. Today, that left-hand gear change is making the model very popular, especially with the 20-year-olds now that we're seeing that are keen to get into classic bikes because they like the idea they can go from a Japanese bike straight onto a Mark III Commando. The bike here is showing the actual Hepco Becker luggage that we put on there to demonstrate how it fits and what it looks like when it's actually fitted to the bike as well. The bike is somewhat original. We've tried to keep it original, but it does have modern electronic ignition, and it also has our forged Omega carbs in there with a standard cam. And it's dead easy to start, even though they're in at 10.4:1 compression. On a standard cam, you'd think that'd be quite hard to start, but it's actually relatively easy. The Mark IIIs are renowned for being sort of botched and hammered together back in their day. And from some of the evidence we see here, from what customers bring us, this sort of supports that theory. However, don't let that put you off. When put together, these are an absolutely lovely bike, and they certainly cover miles in nice comfort. So, you know, don't discount it. The only thing that some people do find wrong with the Mark III is the fact that when you've got 5 gallons of fuel and luggage, it's one hell of a heavy bike. But no, generally they're a good bike to have, nice to ride, and I think if anyone needs to sort of, you know, own a Commando as well as another one, then the Mark III should be that Commando. The actual Mark III run ended at the end of 1975. Obviously, with the receivers in place, it just sort of came to a sudden stop. However, there are bikes that were out there being sold right through to 1981, and those of you with old magazines, you may occasionally notice that in 1981, Andover Norton itself was selling some of the bikes off, albeit the only one you could buy was silver. And that suggests that they weren't a very popular bike towards the mid to late 70s, to the extent that stocks were still being sold off in 1981. Anyone's got any questions or queries, feel free to contact me or Simon at Andover Norton, where we'll try our best to help you. Thank you very much.